All right, and we are live on the program. Welcome. We're about to start here. It's the pre-show. I don't know what we call this part. The pre-show of the
The warm up.
show.
The pre points.
It's the warm-up. 12 Points live stream Fall Family Camping Edition starts today right at the top of the hour, 6 o'clock, live on Facebook. Join us right now. Share our live stream with your friends so they get all this information about our upcoming Fall Family Camping season. Lots of activities going on, guys. How's your weekend going so far?
Going great, Daniel. It's been a good weekend. Had a chance to spend some time out at Scoutland yesterday at Weeblos Woods, and it was awesome.
Oh yeah, see, we're kind of clipping in on this live stream, and didn't really. No, we covered Weeblos Woods big time in the last one a month ago, but so yeah, a lot of people out there this weekend.
Oh yeah, we had probably close to 700 people out there at Scoutland over the course of the weekend.
Yeah,
that's got to be the biggest one in a while.
Count I got
716. That's awesome.
716. Yeah, that's amazing.
We promise to start right at the top of the hour like always, but as always, if you have a chance, drop a comment or a shout out down in the comments below. This show works better when you participate. We're 12 Points live stream with Alex, Daniel, and Phil, and it's the Fall Family Camping Edition. Today, Sunday, October 1st. It's a beautiful Sunday, actually. It was probably a great weekend for camping.
Yes, it is.
Can anybody tell if we're actually on? I know that's not good TV when we talk about that, but
I believe so. I just shared the post.
Okay, that's good. And all right, no comments in the box yet, so that's okay. We're not started. If you're joining us now, drop that comment or shout out down below right now as we get started. And of course, in this episode, we will take turns answering your questions about fall family camping and all fall activities, especially for Cub Scouts coming up here this October, starting today. Fall is here, finally. I think I lost Alex for a second there. Maybe he'll come back. Oh,
yeah, there we go.
We've got Alex reporting from the field today. So if you'll bear with us, there's Doug letting me know that we are. Oh yeah, there's Doug letting me know that we are alive. Doug, welcome to the show and thanks for being with us again. And if you're on the show today, join us live on the program with your shout outs and comments down below. And of course, as always, we'll take time to answer any of your questions about the fall family camping season and your next camp out and big adventure at Scoutland and Camp Rainy Mountain, coming right up here at the top of the hour, right at 6. So we're just going to wait it out here. Let's see if we get any more comments here in the field. So okay, again, let's show Doug. Doug's on the show. You are live, he says. So congrats to everybody. We have figured out technology. You all set there, Alex?
Call out for packs.
Yeah. Doug's from Sweetwater, right?
Yes, he is.
All right, there we go. Sweetwater's on the board, y'all. Thanks for
start
joining
having
us.
A tally for this to see how many units from our different districts we get in.
I just picked up my pen there. Yeah, he said, yes, sir. He's on. Doug, thank you again. One of our longtime listeners, watchers, and camping gurus out in the field there. Speaking of which, we've got Alex on the show today coming to it. Where are you coming to us from today, Alex?
Oh, I probably shouldn't share this. I'm actually coming from Rhode Island.
The woods.
The woods. The great outdoors.
Yeah. Coming in front on vacation.
Well, thank you for joining us. We won't take up much of your vacation here, but it's not the same without you. I'm glad you could be with us today.
Oh, absolutely. I love that. I love being on this.
Yeah, and Phil joining us from Lawrenceville. Thank you for being on the show today and joining us with your expertise. I'm your host, Daniel Victorio, and we are live with the 12 Points live stream, and it is almost straight up and down 6 o'clock. So we'll go ahead and get started with the show. We're broadcasting live on Facebook today, right here. It's Sunday, October 1st. With our first show in a while, but specifically talking about fall family camping today. And as you join us today, concluding our Webelos Woods camp out, but also we're right in the heart of our popcorn sale. So today's adventure brought to you by Trails and Popcorn. Plan your ideal year of scouting. Make it popcorn possible. I wanted to stop here for just a sec. This is actually point number 1 of 12. And so I just want to say congrats to all of our selling units out there on a great popcorn selling season so far. We've still got weeks to go, but guys, any highlights on Trails and Popcorn?
Oh, absolutely. So something that Trails End has been doing is they've been highlighting the booths that have been making the most for the last 5 weeks now. And I have to say,
that's
Northeast
right.
Georgia, our packs and troops consistently stayed on the top 50 board every single week. So that's a huge point for us.
Northeast Georgia Council staying in the top 50 on the board is what he was saying there. But hey, listen, drop your comments, questions, shout outs down below to make the show go. We provide tips, tricks, and best practices for your next big adventure to Camp Rainy Mountain or Scoutland. And you're joined today by Alex, Phil, and yours truly, Daniel. On today's show, we'll cover these 12 topics here. I'll let you get a chance to screen grab that real quick. Just so you know, and if you're rejoining us on the rebroadcast, you can skip ahead and fast forward to these points as you like, and I'll try to add that in the description on our YouTube channel if you're watching the rebroadcast on YouTube. Speaking of which, while you're at it, if you have a chance, go back and click that like button. And be sure to subscribe if you are watching the rebroadcast. We're the 12 Points live stream brought to you live on Facebook by the Northeast Georgia Council, covering camping tips, tricks, and best practices. And Phil, Alex, and Daniel again on the show today. No special guests. I wish we had a special guest, but we're going to go, we covered Trails End, so we're going to go right back into the show here with point number 1, and that is our fall family camping. We're just doing a big, wide fall family camping look today. It's all of our fall family camping weekends for every single district today, right, guys?
Yes, it is.
Yep, it's hard to believe, but our first fall family camping starts next week, Daniel.
That's right, with Etowah District at Scoutland, and it's going to be awesome. If you didn't notice, I put right here a calendar of the upcoming fall family camping weekends by district. Of course, we want you to support your own district and go to your district's fall family camping weekend. But if by chance you're not able to make that weekend, I wanted to show you the whole calendar so you could see that we've got a full menu to choose from here. So,
and also
fall family. Oh, go ahead, Alex. I'm sorry.
Yeah, don't be afraid. You also can go to more than one. So if you had so much fun at the first one, you always sign up for another one.
Absolutely. There's something a little different at each one of these. And so knowing, each of the district's fall family camping dates, and especially as we get closer to that Halloween time, it gets to be a little bit spookier, right, guys?
Yes, we get close to spooky season.
Well, I'm going to cover some specific program things that I heard, a couple of rumors that I heard from district folks, feet on the ground, planning these fall family camping events coming up. But we've got a lot to choose from, both at Scoutland and Camp Rainy Mountain, almost every single weekend in October. Actually, every single weekend in October, we've got at least one going on. So this is the time to plan now. Register if you haven't already, and I threw that link up there. That actually takes you to a page that has every single one of them on the calendar, and along with some other fall activities going on in your district. Follow that link, share this page, this slide right here, share that one. If you have a chance to screen grab it, I guess I could turn off the banner there. Sorry. Let me get rid of that. Share that with your fellow moms and dads, pack leaders, Cub Scout, fellow gurus out there. Everybody, do me a favor and share that on social media so that we get the word out. But it's all organized. It's one stop on the webpage, so you don't have to hunt around and fish for stuff. It's all going to be right. Everything we talk about today, it's all going to be right there, guys. Right. So that's fall family camping weekend coming up next weekend with our first one. First thing we wanted to talk about and you'll get this in your pre-camp communications. I'll talk more about that as we go along too, is the packing list. And we started kind of doing this with the spring family camping weekend, but we posted one suggested camping packing list for both of the camps at the very bottom of the fall camp page. So if you go visit an nega-bsa.org/fall camp, of course, that's where you register. The calendar that I just showed you of all the family camping and fall activities coming up. But if you'll just scroll down to the bottom, all right, and I put a little marker here, scroll to the bottom. You know you're at the bottom when the blue mountains show up, which is kind of funny that our page is like that. The mountains are on the bottom. Anyway, when you scroll down, mountains on the bottom, download this stuff right here. The med form is there. The Rainy Mountain packing list is there. The Scoutland packing list is there, and some other things will be uploaded there this week, having to do with check-in procedures and other points that we cover in today's show. But that's a good place to hit and visit, and don't forget to download the maps. This will each family camping weekend will have specific locations for events going on, but it's handy to kind of just study the map and know, for instance, where your campsite is, where general things are if you've never been to camp before. So this is something you can actually go online and print out right now and have handy as so that you're prepared kind of mentally, I guess, for that. Any comments or add-ins on that one?
Yeah, it's great, especially if you've never been to one of our camps before, just to get a good layout of where everything is before you go. So it's really important to download this so you can take a look and see where your campsite's going to be at versus maybe you're by a shower house or by the BB range. You can kind of go ahead and pre-plan your schedules out.
Yeah, that's a good thing. And adding that in your pre-camp communications, you should take note of what campsite. All of the family camping weekends, you will camp with your whole pack. So pack leaders, just take note of that. Your whole pack will be assigned to the same campsite. We don't do it based on just family size or anything. Just if you're in pack 518, you're all going to be in this campsite, whatever campsite is selected, and you should know that before through your pre-camp communications, and then you'll be able to line it up with the map here that we just showed you. So again, we're going to talk more about that as we go along. A couple of reminders about camp, and I'm going to let Alex kind of take over here on this, but just talk us through some of the check-in reminders having come off of, we were just at SWAPA, we had Weeblos Woods, and we had Spring Family Camping and Spring Fling back in the spring. Are there some tips that we need to remember as we go along, Alex?
Absolutely. So first and foremost, you are arriving as a pack. All right. That means that one person has all your med forms. That means that everyone has all the check-in information for who is going to be there. So make sure that you arrive together because you'll be checked in as a pack. Now, important thing to note, if you're the only family from your pack that is coming to that fall family camp, you will be put with a provisional unit. So you'll be created into a provisional group. All right, so just know that ahead of time. You're still going to want to have your med forms with you. You're going to have all your other consignment forms, all that stuff with you. Just know that you'll be checking in as a group.
Yeah, that's just a good reminder as best you can. Now, and we know that some folks will arrive, I almost knocked Phil out there. Sorry. We know that some people are coming right after school to get there. If you have to assemble first in the parking lot, that's okay. But try to arrive and check in all together at the same time. And pack leaders, encourage your folks and let them know, hey, we want to try to arrive at this time. Taking note, too, that the most common arrival time is between 7 and 8. And so that's when there's a little bit more of a wait if you arrive at that time because it kind of bottlenecks right there at check-in, but just so that you're aware of it ahead of time. And you can't arrive before 5 p.m. at any of the campouts. So even if you call your DE and ask, hey, can we show up at 3? No, don't do that because we won't have volunteers on hand and people to get you checked in properly. And there is a procedure that we have to follow based on national rules about camping and families. So arrive together, arrive on the time that's noted in your pre-camp communications. All right. And Alex?
All right. So number 2, drop your gear and park your car before setting up. So both Scoutland and CRM have a single road in and out of camp.
Right.
What that means is we can't have a bottleneck. If we have too many cars on that road, it stops everyone else from being able to drop off their gear and get their camp set up. So what that means is when you are allowed to go to your campsite, you take your car into camp, you drop off your stuff, you take your car back to the parking lot, and then you have to hike back to your campsite so that you can actually start setting up. If everyone does this, it will go a lot faster.
Yeah, I can't remember if this is one of the other points, but if you arrive together, you can consolidate that gear into one vehicle or one truck if somebody's got a truck, and then there's only one vehicle going back, so that it's not as big a deal getting all your gear back at the same time. But this is a courtesy thing. A scout is courteous. Be courteous to your fellow campers. You're not the only ones there. Some of these campouts will have upwards of 500 to 600, 700 people at the camp out, and so all of them are waiting to get in. Anyway, just as a heads up reminder, and you'll want to let your families and parents know that there's a little bit of a wait, and it's best to drop your gear and return to the parking lot first. All right. Oh, and I did say consolidate your gear.
Great segue, Daniel.
Kind of covered that point. Sorry, Alex.
You're good. You're good.
Yeah. Yeah, sorry, a little, but consolidate your gear, just as we said in the last one. Unload and return your vehicle. That I think we covered that. So that's just a good reminder. Coordinate with your whole pack, including the packing list. So I say this to say that we do still see a lot of families that show up and they don't know who. Sometimes they don't know who their leader is or what what when was everybody else showing up. Do your best though to coordinate and communicate with all the members of your pack. And if you say, hey, I'm just a new parent, that this is a kind of cue to say, hey, communicate with your den leader and your cub master to make sure, hey, is there something that we're supposed to be coordinating and getting together on ahead of time? Anything you guys want to add on that one?
The biggest thing is to communicate with everyone else to find out that you don't have to go to Walmart to purchase something.
Oh,
that's
yeah,
because you may never know. A family in your pack may have an extra stove, or you might be able to cook with another family, and so you'll be able to get through that without having to go to Walmart, go to Target, go to Academy Sports and get new gear. So
right,
communicate.
Some of us are brand new at this. It doesn't mean that you have to have all of this fancy stuff, a tent and a sleeping bag, even if it's borrowed gear. And ask your pack too. This is another good reason to coordinate. Maybe you don't have time to go buy some new piece of gear, or we just bought our uniform and all this other stuff. Maybe you can borrow some, and we have those things in our pack. I know my pack does, so that's just a good reminder about coordinating ahead of time. Also, final point here, check-in reminders. Have all your forms ready. At most family camping weekends, we're not going to take your med forms up. You are going to pack leaders, but you have to be checked in by med form. And so every single one of them will need to be consolidated into one packs. Again, you won't turn those in, but we have to check each one of them in the check-in process to ensure that each person on the property has one. And by the way, everyone needs one, even parents, even adult leaders. It's a simple form to download. Again, go to the fall camp website and scroll to the bottom. You're at the bottom when you see the mountains.
And the big thing with the med forms, I know a lot of packs have every single person who is registered in that pack with the med form. Please don't show up with people who aren't at the fall family camp.
Yeah, separate those out.
In the booklet.
That'll smooth out your check-in process if you'll do that.
You want to stay on the good side of your medic. Please do that.
I always, we learned this from SWAPA, because at SWAPA we did have to turn in our med forms, and you should never turn in the originals. You should turn in the copies.
Yes, please turn in copies.
Bring copies with you.
Bring copies. Yeah, don't turn in original med forms, because if you want to make sure anyway that if you don't get them back right away, that you still have them for your next camp out. And then just know things about your party. Again, every district's a little bit different, but in the pre-camp communications, you should be communicated with about how many people are pre-registered for your camp out that are coming from your pack. Everyone should get that information. So that you know, because I have had packs that showed up and said, "Oh, I thought we were the only ones." Nope, there's 5 other families in your pack coming. So it's good to know that. So, all right, well, that kind of covers some of the procedures and things. What other do's and don'ts do we want to follow, Phil?
Yeah, there's a lot of other really good do's and don'ts that you want to make sure you're following. Some of the things on the do's is some of the things that we just went over. Make sure you come together as a pack. Make sure you bring everything on that packing list. And on the don't side, make sure you don't bring drugs or alcohol to camp. You might not think we need to mention that, but there's always somebody in the crowd. So make sure that is not allowed. That's not scouting appropriate. So make sure not to bring that with you.
Not that kind of camp out.
Not that kind of camp out. It's a family camp out. Want to have a good time with all of our families and make sure everybody's staying safe.
That's right.
You want to make sure that you're also following the buddy system when you're at camp. That's for scouts and adults too. We have a lot of adults who are going to be at our camps for the first time. It's very easy to get turned around in the mountains. We had it a couple of years ago. We had a family get lost going hiking. So you want to make sure that you're following the buddy system when you're in camp at all times.
And of course, we've all been camping at Camp Rainy Mountain and Scoutland several times, but what are just some, like, I guess, unspoken rules about camp, things that people don't know? The one most common one that I always remind folks is if you're going through a campsite, always announce your presence and say permission to enter. That's like a courtesy thing as well. So if you feel like there's a shorter path through this campsite, just announce your presence. That's a courtesy. It's okay to walk through, but you just want to make sure that you announce your presence when you're walking through someone else's campsite.
Yep, and make sure whenever you're bringing your gear into the campsite that you're following the directions of the road. Like Alex mentioned, it's a one-way in and one-way out.
On both camps.
Make sure you're going the right way around the road, or you're going to run into somebody else and you're going to be stuck on a one-way road. So make sure you're following the directions that are given to you when you check in.
Another big do is please follow youth protection. If you're up at CRM and you are in an Adirondack, which is one of those open face cabins or open door cabins, make sure that you're, following along with youth protection standards, that you have 2 deep, or, you're preventing as best you can, no one-on-one contact, because we got to make sure we stay mindful of that. Same thing for bathrooms. CRM, you have a lot of single-use bathrooms in the bathhouses, so you're not as worried about that. But at Scoutland, we have youth side and we have adult side to make sure you're approaching the correct bathrooms.
And they're clearly marked. Parents should not go in the youth bathroom unless it's an emergency. You should not have to go into the restrooms with your student. That's an important one to remind, especially new parents. So people that are watching the show that already knew this. We're saying it for the new parents out there that don't know there are rules about privacy and youth protection that we just need to share with them for their first time camping, because we don't want any issues with that. So, any other do's and don'ts to add to the show?
No, I have a big do.
Yeah, I will say, make sure when you're building your campfires and your campsites in the evening, don't build a massive bonfire. You want to make sure that you're building a reasonably sized campfire for all of your camp. And make sure you have a bucket of water there right next to it so you can extinguish it at the end of the evening. That's
a good reminder, too, just about campfires in general, making sure that they're out all the way at night. There is a group that walks around and make sure that your fires are out cold even after you've been to bed. Never leave a fire unattended. There's a big sign in your campsite that will say that. But again, none of this stuff kind of goes without saying, because we'll have a lot of new families camping for the first time. But those are kind of the things that we just need to remind each other. And you might think of something offline here, not on the show, families, that we just want to remind our other parents. It helps make their life easier. I think I should say at this point too, camping is a thing that we use in scouting that helps teach young people a very specific thing. This goes to character building, by the way, if y'all don't know where I'm going with this. But camping, the skill that it teaches young people and sometimes adults is coping. camping is coping skills. And if we've never explained that before, coping, if you don't know what that is, it means learning to do without. So it's meant to be in the camp setting that you don't have something. And so be prepared, I guess, mentally for that. If you're without something, you either do without it or you got to go back and get it. And so that's why the whole be prepared thing, the packing list, the map, all of those things, like I don't even know what I'm looking for on there. Well, at least if you have it, then you'll be able to orient yourself and know these are the things that you need to do. And it's also why we're doing this live stream, so that you can sort of better prepare yourself. And I know, we don't have a ton of people on the live stream. I think 4 or 5 people watching right now. Certainly haven't gotten any more shout outs down in the comments yet. But anyway, for folks watching on the rebroadcast, share this. We're trying to, in the live stream setting, produce valuable content that can be rewatched and tips and tricks that are shareable. If you think of another do or don't at camp, will you drop that down in the comments either today or later? Because it will be shared, I guess, in perpetuity.
It's up forever.
Yeah, let's keep it light and positive, though. This is for families. So let's move on in the show, everybody. Again, you're joining us here for 12 Points live stream, and we're talking about fall family camping. And so I tried to put in this slide, guys, for your own edification. I was walking around talking to the other executives and some of the volunteer staff about programs that might be going on at Fall Family Camping Weekend. So, of course, right at the top there, I put shooting sports. We know we're going to do crafts and specifically nature crafts. That's always a big thing at the Fall Family Camping Weekends. We might be doing some advancement opportunities, and that's, again, specifically noted in your weekend's camp out. But it's kind of not the aim of Fall Family Camping Weekend. It's just mainly about being at camp with your family and family time in the out of doors, I think. So common things that we talked about when new kids were signing up was fishing, hiking, campfire. The most common question I get from a young brand new scout at their sign up night was, you're going to think I'm lying about this, but I'm not. The most common question: are we going to roast marshmallows, Phil?
Oh, we are going to roast some marshmallows.
I can't believe that's the thing they're thinking about. Like, are we going to?
It's what we talked about in our class talk. So no,
we do. We are going to roast If I'm the only one roasting marshmallow, you know that if I'm at one of these camps, I'll have a bag of marshmallows and we're going to start a fire. So, yes. We're going to do that. We're going to, some of the weekends will have, not all of them, some of them will have a haunted trail. Again, just find out through your resources on the fall camp page whether the one you're attending has that or not, if it's something you're looking forward to. And again, some of them will have haunted trail, trick-or-treating, and costume contests. Not all of them will have that. So especially in the earlier ones. So don't be disappointed if yours specifically doesn't have that. But if you're going to one of the ones at Camp Rainy Mountain, they'll have an organized hike to Big Rock. Be sure to ask about that when you get there, because for new families, Cub Scout families, you want to go on an organized hike to Big Rock. It's not like an easy hop up the mountain. You can get lost and end up in another state. So seek guides. I know that Cherokee's weekend specifically has promised guided hikes to Big Rock that will be organized and in groups. I know I've been to Currahee's before where I helped guide the hike and walked up. Those are some of my favorite memories, is the hike to Big Rock. What are some other things we can expect at Fall Family Camping Weekends these upcoming weekends, guys?
You can definitely expect bows and arrows and BB guns, a little shooting sports practice for all the scouts. That's always a lot of fun to do.
Yeah, big lines, and most of your campouts in the pre-camp communications should tell you the scheduling of that, and so that you're not standing in line for an hour, or at least organize that in that way. Shooting ranges will be, stacked and full the entire time. So pick a good time that's that you don't mind waiting for a little bit just to get in, but there's always a little bit of a wait to get into those. But that is one of the things that the kids are looking forward to doing the most. So parents, it's not like getting on a roller coaster at Disney or something. There's no fast pass. That you just got to do the wait. It's one of the things that they're looking forward to. The most popular event, shooting sports, archery, and BBs going on, and some of the campouts are doing. Are some of them, Alex?
Yeah, some of them are doing slingshots as well, trying to do all three of the shooting sports.
Okay. Yep. And again, not all of them, but they'll at least have archery and BBs at them, and some will have multiple archery and BB locations. So look out for that on the map, especially at the bigger weekends upcoming. So I think that's, if you're one of the volunteer staff or folks planning programs at one of these weekends, drop it down in the comments. Are there some exciting, unique programs that your district's planning to do at the camp out coming up this fall? One more just quick flash of the schedule. I'll push that up one more time. And again, guys, make sure go to your districts if you're available and able to, and support your district's staff at Scoutland or Camp Rainy Mountain. But if for some reason you can't go one of those weekends, then pick another one. Also, like Alex said at the top, there's no reason why you can't go to more than one.
Absolutely.
So yeah,
each fall family camp is going to have its own flavor, its own style.
Absolutely.
You're not going to miss anything if you don't get to yours, but going to multiple, you'll be able to get that different flavor, that different feel.
It's just
and
a
also
great
there's going to be
time.
different adventures that you'll be able to do there.
Absolutely. It's just a great time to be at either Scoutland or Camp Rainy Mountain. They're just so much, fall family camping in the fall is great weather always, and just the scenery is beautiful when the leaves start turning colors, especially later in the fall. Let's talk about fishing, guys.
Oh yeah.
I just put up a couple of points, but if you've got anything to add, reminders about fishing, either at Camp Rainy Mountain and at Scoutland. Bring your own pole and tackle. If you forgot yours, by the way, we'll have some supplies in the trading post. I noticed some fishing poles in the trading post and other simple tackle gear. But come prepared with your own pole and tackle if you have that kind of stuff. Again, some supplies are available in the trading post. I probably needed to queue up a little more than just the fishing panel on trading post, but the trading post at both camps will be open during fall family campings this weekend, these upcoming weekends. So souvenirs, other things you might have forgotten, all of those available in the trading post at Scoutland and Camp Rainy Mountain. If you're fishing at Scoutland, that's Lake Lanier, and adults and anyone fishing that's over the age of 16 is required to have a fishing license. So don't forget that. That's something that you can't do at the last minute, and we don't sell them at camp. So make sure that you have your fishing license. If you're an avid fisher person, then you already knew that, and maybe you already have your license. I know I got mine. I should have had that for show and tell. Camp Rainy Mountain is catch and release only. So that's just a conservation thing because of our small little lake there. And we thank the folks, Terry Bramlets, who stocks that lake full of fish every summer. So we appreciate that. Little shout out to Terry there. And just a reminder, there might be signage. Sometimes I don't remember if it's at both docks, but no fishing from the docks. And it's kind of an innocent thing that new families don't know already or didn't know that was a camp rule. And so just be kind if somebody walks out onto the dock. They're really not supposed to be there. Those areas are off limits during the fall camping season, unless we're doing swimming or boating, which most of them are not. But and we don't fish from the docks because it's a safety thing, right? But some people don't realize that. They think they see a dock, they think it's a fishing dock, right? Yep. It's not. So anything you guys want to add about fishing?
Yeah, make sure to bring your poles and have some fun. See who can get the biggest fish in the weekend.
Those are, selfishly speaking, from a social media standpoint, the fish, people holding up a fish gets the... Post your pictures of your kid fishing and hold up the big fish when you get it so that so that we can share that. That's always a fun thing to do. Here's I just wanted to flash up some. Originally, we wanted a portion of this show to be a cooking show, but we kind of scrambled to put this one together to begin with. But and we talk a lot about cooking on the show, but one day we are going to do, and especially Alex, since you're outside, I should have had you like fire up the charcoals and do a Dutch oven cobbler.
Probably should have, but yeah.
Let's take a look at some campsite cooking tips. Remember to use existing fire pits only in your campsite. Don't create a new one. That's a leave no trace thing. I should have brought my charcoal chimney in too. Another woulda, coulda, shoulda there. Light your charcoal with a charcoal chimney. It's more environmentally friendly. And once you learn how to do a thing like that, you'll never need lighter fluid again. I hope you never use lighter fluid, by the way. I'm just like,
chimneys get the charcoal a lot hotter, a lot faster.
It really does, and it takes almost exactly as much time as the lighter fluid does. And also, I don't know. I guess real campers use a chimney to get their charcoal, or I didn't know a nicer way to put it. Coordinate camp stove safety. Note the safety things in the owner's manual of your camp stove. Hopefully you're using just a regular propane stove.
No white gas stoves.
Yeah, not the white gas stoves. But anyway, either way, make sure to follow all the safety rules. This is just one of the safety tip areas that we got to cover because of the number of accidents with stoves. No cooking or flames, no flames inside of any tent. Even well-ventilated tents never have a stove or heating element of any kind inside of your tent. I should have, I guess, added that to the slideshow there. Have a way to store your dry and cold foods, not for the sake of your food, but for the sake of your campsite, I think.
Yeah, don't leave your dry foods out on the table. We have a lot of raccoons, and if you're up in
That's
CRM,
exactly where I was going with that.
Possibility of bears, so it's best to make sure you keep that stored in containers. That way, little hands can't get on it, and that same thing goes with the Cub Scouts.
This is a common mistake that I see. Make sure don't store your food in the tents. And don't just leave trash strewn about or a bag. I see people that will leave a bag sitting on the ground next to their picnic table. Don't do that, or you'll be cleaning up a mess. Store those things properly, and if you don't know how, ask your camp staff. They'll help you. Most campsites have a way to a place to stow that gear, but storing your dry foods in a snap tight tote with a lid. I had my tote in here too. And a cooler that you can close and lock the lid on. That is the best way. And just general cleanliness of your campsite, specifically surrounding your cooking area, is very important because we don't want to attract animals and critters into your campsite. And that's the main thing. It's a leave no trace thing. It's a good outdoor ethics thing, but it's also just better, so you don't wake up to any surprises in the morning.
A big thing, especially learning this, or not learning this, but with SWAPA and other of our large camping activities, as best you can as a unit, please pack out your trash.
Yes.
We do have staff, we do have rangers that can go and collect, but let me tell you,
and I lost Alex.
We lost, but I'm sure what he was saying was the.
Oh, there he is. He came back.
It's a lot easier to have you take the trash out yourselves.
Yeah, I definitely feel that. Especially, I lost your audio there, Alex. I lost your audio. He doesn't realize it. It's okay. Lost your audio. He'll come back online as soon as.
Did you lose?
There we go.
Oh, here we go.
Anyway, I think we kind of covered it for you there, Alex. But that was a really good point to bring up, for sure. So yeah, but packing out your trash. There are dumpsters at the ends of camp and at Scoutland. It's in the parking lot at Camp Rainy Mountain. It's also in the lower parking lot. But if you can take it out all the way with you, it saves us on dumpster space too. And just as a helpful thing, we'll remind folks about this too. Don't pile trash outside of the dumpster. If it's full, then you got to take it with you to the nearest dump location, which is close to camp at both camps, both at Camp Rainy Mountain and Scoutland. There are there are remote dump stations close by, and you can just ask your staff about that. All right. Is that it on campsite cooking tips?
I think so.
I think so.
We're flying right through it here. Hopefully this was helpful to you all. Phil, you want to tell us about what's going on at Camp Rainy Mountain?
Yeah, just another reminder that this summer is our 70th anniversary at Camp Rainy Mountain. Hard to believe, but we opened our doors for the first time in 1954. So next summer is going to be the 70th anniversary of our camp. It's going to be really exciting. We've had a ton of troops come to sign up for Rainy Mountain. Last week alone, we had 8 troops sign up to join us.
Oh, wow.
So spots are beginning to fill up, especially if you're looking to come camp in the month of June. Make sure to let us know. Follow that QR code, and that'll take you to our summer camp page where you can read more about the information. Let us know if you want a personalized visit to hear about our camp. If you're in the Northeast Georgia Council, one of our camping team members will come visit your unit. Or if you're out of the Northeast Georgia Council, we'll jump on a Zoom similar to this, and we can tell you about all the fun stuff we have coming up at our 70th anniversary.
70th, the anniversaries are always special. Of course, we're celebrating the 70th this year at Camp Rainy Mountain. This is a really special time. So if you're one of our troops, we're going to find a way to help you get registered and into one of the weeks, no matter what the demand is at the moment. I know we've got troops filling up space, but we want to help you find a good slot and campsite. So this is the time. Don't let it pass you by. October is the busiest month of summer camp registrations for Scouts BSA.
It sure
and
is.
Camp Rainy Mountain is no stranger to that, of course. And come out and celebrate with our staff and the highly motivated, truly dedicated. For our 70th anniversary, it's going to be exciting. We have a lot more to talk about with this 70th anniversary thing. I know we keep flashing. It's the same slide we used last time, but there's a lot more to talk about. Special patches, special edition, everything.
New programs coming out this year. Newly renovated CUB course coming next summer. So we got a lot of really exciting stuff coming up.
Oh man! So and not even a fraction of what we've talked about, this is a fraction of what's going to be talked about in the 70th anniversary. Maybe we'll do a show just on that, Phil.
I feel like that's a special show from CRM.
Mention this week coming up too on Wednesday. Is it too late to talk about that?
Not at all. This Wednesday is our outdoor program kickoff for the Northeast Georgia Council. It's going to be at the Jackson EMC building in Jefferson starting at 7. Come hear about not only Camp Rainy Mountain, but all of our spring and summer activities with CUB and Scouts BSA. It's a huge opportunity for you to hear about it. We'll be doing some drawings, some prizes, some really cool stuff we have coming up.
That sounds awesome. And hopefully take advantage of this night, Wednesday night, Jackson EMC in Jefferson. Go to the outdoor program seminar because we'll be talking about more than just Camp Rainy Mountain, but some insider tips on the 70th anniversary celebration. So that's coming up. And one more, Phil, you got coming up here.
Yep. Coming up on the first Saturday in December the 2nd, University of Scouting at Osborne Middle School. This is the single largest day of training that the Northeast Georgia Council puts on every year. We've already got 50 classes on the books for you guys to pick from. We have stuff for if you're a brand new leader. We just signed you up at a roundup this week. All the way up if you're a 50-plus year veteran scouting leader. We've got something for you to take at University of Scouting. It's a really awesome event. It's a ton of fun, great fellowship. For your Cub Scout packs, if you didn't know this, you can also come to University of Scouting and you can buy discounted Pinewood Derby cars by the case. It's a huge value for your unit. It's approximately 40% off if you bought them individually.
And they never have a discount on Pinewood.
It never goes on sale. It's only at University of Scouting.
Well, that's a good deal. So there's so much going on at University of Scouting too. It's one of those things I've asked leaders, hey, that got a lot of value out of it, and I said, well, did you go last year? No, I've kind of already done them all. I don't think you have. A lot of new stuff coming up at University of Scouting.
Yep, Ed Henderson is our chancellor this year, and his big thing was new. So we have a lot of new classes, new instructors, a lot of really good excitement coming into this event.
join us for this year's University of Scouting coming up on the first weekend of December. What day is that again? I didn't put the date on the
It's Saturday, December the 2nd.
Okay. All right. And follow that QR code and link there to find out more and get registered today. Hey, thanks again for joining us on the live stream. If this was your first time, I'm checking out the comments to see if we've got any other shout outs. Didn't see very many, but this one was kind of announced at the last minute. If you do have any questions, it's never too late. Maybe we don't answer it live on the program, but I always go back to answer questions down in the comments, both here on Facebook and on our rebroadcast and premiering tonight on our YouTube channel. By the way, if you didn't know, we have one of those. And also, just to let you know that today's broadcast was brought to you by the Mwogo Lodge Order of the Arrow. Phil, tell us a little bit more about Mwogo Lodge.
Yeah, Mwogo Lodge is a service organization for Scouts BSA and the Boy Scouts of America. They provide tons of hours of community service to the Northeast Georgia Council, all of our camping properties. I will highlight an exciting thing we have coming up November 17th to the 19th is a fall fellowship at Scoutland, where if your Scouts have been inducted into the Order of the Arrow as a new ordeal member, they can go through that ceremony and that day of service on that Saturday. It's the first time in years that we've done an event like this at Scoutland. So it's really exciting, really cool opportunity to come out and see what Mwogo Lodge does.
Absolutely. And they kind of support us behind the scenes, but here's Doug, our only shout out of the night. Doug, you get extra brownie points and seconds at every meal on the next camp out. Glad I could be here. Again, thank you so much. And to all of our supporters and folks that watch us both live and in the future. I know that that's coming. That we always get a good following in the rebroadcast. Thank you for joining us here today. Again, on 12 Points live stream today, the adventure unfolds. One more thumbs up from Doug. Thank you, Doug. Hey, if you do have a question or another shout out, if you watch this later, just drop it down in the comments. We love to hear from you. And any other show comments that you have, let us know. Are you finding value in the show? Is this something that you're able to share with your fellow parents that will help you plan and conduct your next camp out, including Fall Family Camping Weekend? Is there anything that we can add that is of value to you as a Scout parent or leader in the way of live stream content? We do this for fun. It's kind of an extra added on thing to our regular daily lives, but I certainly enjoy it, guys. How about you?
It's awesome. It's one of my favorite evenings every time we do it.
Yes,
yeah,
it is,
absolutely. Yep. And I tell you, I'm just kind of sitting here seeing if anybody else is going to ask any questions, but hopefully you all had a chance to ask those. And I'm also kind of backpedaling on the slides real quick so I can flash up this one more time. What are you guys looking forward to the most, though, in Fall Family Camp?
I just love going out there when I get to go visit them and just seeing kids get to camp for the first time. It's a really cool opportunity for a family to bond, spend some time together in the great outdoors, disconnect a little bit from the computers and your social media. Just go out there and enjoy the great outdoors with your family. It's a cool opportunity.
Yeah, absolutely.
And not to mention, I like seeing how many packs actually work together to decorate their campsites. That is phenomenal. That's a phenomenal thing to see. Because every fall family camp has some kind of theme that you can decorate to, or if you're doing, tent retreating, you can go and decorate your campsite, and it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, it is a lot of fun, and just some of the activities that we'll get to do, like Phil was saying, it's a time for firsts, and a lot of the families there, it will be the first time they camp out under the stars and shoot a bow and arrow and roast a marshmallow over a campfire. Those are some big firsts in the life of a Scout that are really important, and you can't miss it. You got to join us here on the live stream for these tips and tricks, and make your way to the next Fall Family Camping event coming up. Hey, guys, thanks for being on the show with me tonight. Alex, travel back safely. Be careful.
Sure,
yeah. Yeah, get back to Northeast Georgia Council airspace soon, pal.
Yeah, we got a bunch of viewers on right now. Drop a shout out down in the comments. Let us know you're here if you haven't already anyway. So Doug is the only one that I'll re-shout because he posted, and I want to say thanks again to Doug. Yeah. And I guess Sweetwater is the only one that gets points today.
Yeah, take it.
There we go. That's good. Well, hey, guys, thanks again for joining us. I'm going to leave us on the end slide here, and we'll just kind of we'll stay on the mics for another minute or two in case anybody else has anything else to say. Any parting thoughts as we leave the show today?
Yeah, communicate. Communicate with your packs. If you have questions on your fall family camp, communicate with your chairs. Communicate with your executives. Just if you got a question, reach out. Don't try to work through question marks yourselves.
Yeah, absolutely. Communication is probably the key element. That's kind of on all of us to make sure. That's why we do this live stream. But parents and leaders communicate with each other. Phil?
Yeah, man. Just have fun. Make sure to get out there, have the opportunity, and we'll see you out there, everybody.
Yeah, that's a good thing to point out. It's about having fun. It's supposed to be kind of a laid back. I will say one thing. There's more stuff going on than you'll be able to do at most of these campouts. Just try to make it to whatever it is but also plan in some family planned things for your family. It's really about being in the campsite, sitting around that fire and telling stories. And that's actually probably the most important activity that will go on during fall family camping weekend. Yeah. All right. Well, thanks for joining us here. And all right, we came right up to the 6:45 time frame. Good show, everybody.
Awesome. Thanks, everybody.
Yeah. Thanks for joining us. Alex, be careful out there.
I will be.
Oh, we made it. We ended the show before the sun went all the way down.
I know. I'm actually really happy about that. It's still light enough out here.
That's pretty good. Yeah. All right. I'm going to go finish cleaning out my storage building. Thanks. See you, Phil. See you, Alex. Thanks again.
Bye, everyone.